Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Una and welcome to Una's bookshelf. It's been a while since I last posted. I'm very sorry, but I've been sick. I've been really busy with school. But that doesn't matter. And that is, I have a new video for you guys today, and that is a September wrap up. So I'm going to talk about all the books I read in September, if I recommend them to you guys, and what I thought of them. So yeah. I've got quite a few books to get through, so I would say let's get started. I'm also going to do a little October TBR at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that as well. So let's get started with the first book. I don't have a lot of physical books with me because a lot of the books I read were from the library and also one ebook. So yeah, that's why I won't be able to hold a lot of physical books with me. Before we start with the video, we're talking about books, I want to give some statistics. So I read a total of 9 books this month and I DNF'd 2 books. One was a definitive DNF and that is Infinite Face, or Infinite, I don't know what it was called, but I just didn't vibe with it, so I put it down very quickly. And then I did a soft DNF of This Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. Then of the genres I read, I read 2 mystery books, YA mystery books. I read 5 romance books and I read 2 fantasy books, also YA. So yeah. Now, onto the books I read. The first book I read this month, or previous month, was The Agathas by Kathleen Glasgow and Liz Lawson. So this is a duology, so I read the first 2 books, but I'm going to talk about the first book first. So that is The Agathas. So I give this book 3.5 stars. It is a YA mystery. So in this book you follow Alice and Iris. Alice, she got dumped by her boyfriend Steve, and after that happened, she ran away for 5 days or something like that. Nobody knows where she went, and then all of a sudden she came back. When she comes back, her best friend, or more like her ex-best friend, Brooke, is found missing. Nobody knows where she is, and everyone's like, where is Brooke going? Then after a couple of days, her body is found, and obviously everyone thinks that the boyfriend did it, and that's Steve. But Alice is like, no, there's something not adding up here. I don't think he did it. And then she pairs up with her tutor called Iris. She comes from a very different class, a very different world, and she is tutoring Alice, and she's like, we're going to solve this together. They're going to work together and they're going to solve this crime and prove that Steve didn't murder Brooke. So we follow their journey of them trying to find out who did it. I really enjoyed it. It's a very fast-paced book. I also loved the dynamic between the 2 characters. It's very, very fun. So that's why the 3.5 stars. And then you have the next book, and that is called The Night in Question. I can't spoil a little bit too much. There's also another murder, and obviously Alice and Iris are also going to solve this because they also think that the police is heading in the wrong direction, and they think they're wrong. So they're also going to make it their mission to prove that the person the police thinks it is the wrong guy they have, or like wrong girl. Depends what you want to say. So I really liked it as well. Very fast-paced as well. I also gave it 3.5 stars. I think it's a very fun YA mystery books, both of them. They read very fast-paced. I'm very intrigued. I kind of knew some things, who did it and etc. But it was still very fun to read about. So I highly recommend reading it, especially this time of the year. I mean, it's very fun to read mysteries, I think, in the fall time. So after those 2, I wanted a little bit more of a romance book, so I picked up Accidentally Amy by Lynn Painter. I really love Lynn Painter's books, and I hadn't picked it up yet, so I was like, yeah, this is one that we're going to read. So this is an adult romance, and in this book you follow Isabella. And Isabella is at this coffee shop, and the barista calls like Amy 3 times for this coffee order. There's no Amy inside, and Isabella's like, you know what? I'm going to pick it up. I'm in a hurry. I have to get to my new job. So she picks it up. It is the same thing she ordered. and then she bumps into this guy, and they kind of hit it off. And then when she goes to her job, her new big fancy girl job, she bumps into the same guy, and it's like, oh, what a coincidence. And after that, she realizes the guy from the coffee shop and the guy she met in the elevator, both the same guy obviously, is her new boss. And this guy is called Blake. So it gets a little bit complicated because he is like, I don't trust you. You like were literally lying that you're Amy. So there's a little bit of a misunderstanding in the beginning, but they resolve it and there are some things happening and they're going to help each other out. I really liked it. It was a very fun read. This is the first time I've read also an adult romance by Lynn Pater, so it's very different from a YA's, but I enjoyed it quite a lot. I don't think it's the best romance book I've ever read. It was also pretty short, but it was a fun romance to read in between, so I still recommend it. After that, I read The Frontrunner by Elsie Silver. So this is a third book in the Gold Rush Ranch series. This is like her first cowboy romance series, and this is the third book. So in this book, you follow Stefan Dalka and Mira Thorpe. So you've seen both of these characters in the previous books. Stefan Dalka, he's like this more of kind of mystery guy. Nobody really knows a lot about him. The brothers in the first book, they don't really like him. So he's like perceived as a not as a bad guy. And Mira, she's a veterinarian, and she's going to help him. And there's like things happening between them. He has like kind of a crush on her, but she's like, I don't know if this is a good idea. So yeah, I give it 3 stars. I liked it, but I just don't really vibe with it that much. I mean, it was fun and I had a good time, but it's not that I'm going to think about it anymore. I mean, there were the previous book in this, a photo finish I liked a lot. I just liked better than this one. I just didn't really feel connected to the characters in this book, and I think that's what makes me feel like giving it 3 stars. But I'm definitely going to read the final book, and that is called A False Start. So 3 stars for The Frontrunner. After that, I got an arc, Bake Your Mind, by Claudia Ambrose. I'm very thankful that I got this arc. I was very excited to start reading this. This is a romance, an adult romance book. It has some spice, so be aware of that. In this book, you follow 2 characters. There is a competition going on between them. You have the baker, and she's called Aubrey. Aubrey is also a single mom. She's also a little bit of struggling with how she has to do her job, but also being a mom. She also lives with her dad. And then you have on the other side of the competition, you have this guy who is a hot chef online. He's very popular in the online community, but he has a very good restaurant, and that is Liam. So there's this competition going on between them. The thing is, she has had like this crush on him for a very long time, but she obviously doesn't want him to know that. So yeah, it's a really fun book. I liked it a lot. Also, not only the romance I liked, but also the fact that there was this competition going on, but also Aubrey dealing with the fact that she's a single mom and what to do if she has a new boyfriend, also the relationship with her ex-husband. It really reminded me of summer romance. I really enjoyed it, and I give it 4.5 stars. It's going to be in this little universe, I think, as well. I highly recommend reading it. It's also a very cute cover, so if that doesn't convince you, I hope my explanation of the book does, because it's a really, really fun book. After that, I picked up the last book in a series I had to read, and that is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. So this is the second book in a Part of Your World interconnected series, and I was very excited about this book because we see the main female character in this book as well in the first book, and when I read about her, I really liked her, and that is Brianna. So Brianna, she's also a doctor in this hospital, and she just is going through her divorce. So, and also her brother is waiting for a kidney donor, and it's really hard because it's really hard to find a match for him. So she's been really struggling, and she also wants to get this new position at the hospital. And then this new doctor shows up, and that he's called Jacob. Jacob just moved to this new hospital. Nobody knows really a lot about him. In the beginning, Brianna is a little bit like, I don't know what to think of you. You're just here to steal my job. But once they get to know each other a little bit, they kind of hit it off. And they start to write letters to each other because Jacob is a little bit more, has this anxiety, and it's for him a little bit more difficult to communicate in some ways. So they start to write letters to each other, and that's so, so cute. I really love that aspect of it in the book. And after a while, Jacob finds out that he is a perfect donor for Brianna's brother. So that's a really big deal. He also doesn't want anyone to know that he is going to be the donor. It's very intriguing. I really loved every bit of this book. It's so fun. I also recognize myself in Jacob a little bit, which is really funny because he's a guy, he's an MMC, and that doesn't happen a lot. That I see myself in a guy, but there were some things that Jacob went through and how he is that I kind of reminded myself of myself. So that's really fun to see in a book. There was just one thing that happened in the end that I just didn't really like. So that's why I gave it 4.75 stars. And I think this is also my favorite book in like the body of your world. Well, after yours truly, I had to also read my book club pick, and that was Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. So I did a little book club with 3 other girls, and our first book club pick for September was Archer's Voice. I knew about this book. I've seen it, I think, what was a pretty big deal, a very popular book, maybe a little bit more in the beginning of Book Talk, etc. I hadn't read it. I didn't know what it was about, but it's like I have to read it for my book club, so that's what we're going to do. So, in the beginning, I was okay with it, but there were some times that I just didn't really feel the vibe with it, feel with the characters. So you follow Archer and Bree. Archer went through this very traumatic experience and accident that he isn't able to talk. So it's difficult to communicate with him. And when Bree comes into town, she's like really the first person who makes contact with him and can communicate with him because she also knows sign language. Bree is running away from her own situation from back home, and that's why she comes to this town. And they meet, there are things happening, but there was this point in the book that I was very bored. I just didn't like what was happening. There was the point that I was like, I'm going to DNF this book. But I was like, but then at the same time, I thought, no, we're not going to DNF it because I want to get through this book for the book club. Maybe in the end I should have DNF'd it because I gave it 2.75 stars. At first I gave it 3 stars, but when I was looking at other books I gave 3 stars. I was like, I like those books better than I like this book. I would have been fine if I didn't read it. I just didn't care about the characters. The story felt also at some point very flat for me. And for some reason, it also read a little bit YA for me. Even though it isn't a YA, there are some spy scenes in it, and they were also very cringe to read, in my opinion. But in some way, it did feel YA, how it was written. I don't know why, but it wasn't just my type of book. And that's fine. That happens. So yeah. That was a 7th book I read in September. Then there are 2 other books I read in September, but I'm not going to say a lot about them because I'm doing a whole reading vlog about these books. They are both in the same series. I think there are going to be 2 parts. I'm going to have the first part with the 4 first books and then 3 other books in the second part. And I'm now at reading the 3rd book, so I only have 1 book left after this, and I've also almost finished with it. But I don't want to say too much about this, obviously, because you're going to have to watch the whole video if you want. But I read Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, and I also read Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. So I read the first 2 books in the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. I'm now currently reading Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. And spoiler, it's very, very fun. But I'm making a whole video about it, so I'm not going to say much about it. I liked it. I also don't have a rating for them yet because I'm still thinking of what I should rate these books. So it's not that you're missing something if I'm not saying too much about it. But I obviously like them quite a lot. So yeah, I think that were all the 9 books I read in the month of September. I've had a really good reading month. I've read quite a few good books, so that was very fun. Let me know in the comments what your favorite book was of the month of September. I'm very excited. And now I'm going to show you guys a quick put through of the books I want to read in October. I've got 7 books on my October TBR. No, 6 books. I got 6 books on my September TBR. I'm very excited about them. There were 2 of them I just picked up today at the library, but most of them were definitely on my October TBR. So the first book is a book I'm very excited to read. It's a 3rd book in the series, and it was delivered today, which is very crazy because the release date is only next week on Tuesday, the 14th of October. So that's real cool. It was already delivered today. And that is Revolve by Belle Carba. I'm very excited about this. This is a hockey romance, and this is the last book. I don't know, it's the last book. I don't know. It's the 3rd book in the Off the Races series, and I'm very excited. This book follows Sierra, and she is a skater, and you also have Dylan, who is obviously a hockey player. I'm planning to do a reread of Bride by Ellie Hazelwood in October. I'm also going to make probably a whole video about that. So I want to do a reread of Bride. And after that, I obviously want to read a new book that's in the same series, in the same world, and that is Mate. I'm very excited about both of these as well, especially reread. And then after that, I can immediately jump in Mate. I think I'm going to make a reading vlog of that because I think it will be fun to do. So yeah. Then these books I picked up at the library today, and I'm very excited for, especially the first 2 books I'm going to talk about. I picked them up randomly. I saw them and I was just intrigued by them. So the first book is Skystone by Adriana M. Giovanni. This is her debut novel, and it's about werewolves. So I will say what the back says. It says, at the great tree of life, 9 winged creatures called the hunters reside. When a prophecy foretells the birth of a new werewolf, one hunter is sent to Earth with a mission: slay the wolf and protect the village. When dark forces breach the tree's defenses, he is forced to flee with the Skystone, a talisman that could change the world if wielded by the wrong hands. Jenna Belliresso has been plagued by nightmares since she can remember. Recently betrayed by a lifelong friend and trapped in a village she longs to escape, she finds it hard to stay sane. Can she overcome the dark obstacles that come her way, or will she stray too far from the right path? That sounds so cool. It's also very new, I think. Yeah, the book is just very new. It's from 2024, but it's very cute, also very special. So very excited about this. And then this was a book I picked up first. So this is a werewolf kind of vibe. And at first I picked up this book, and it is called The Scarlet Veil by Shelby Marin. And this is a vampire romance duology. There's a second book. I only have this book, but very excited. It's apparently, I don't know, it is in the same world of Serpent and Dove. I didn't read it, but it doesn't matter. I looked it up on Google. So yeah, but it's quite a thick book, but also very cool with the sprayed edges. So in this one, it says, darkness is coming for us, Seely, it's coming for you too. Someone is coming for Seely, leaving bodies in his wake, each one decorated with twin puncture wounds in its throat. And the closer he gets to her, the more tempted Seely feels to give in to his dark hungers and her own. So it's a dark and thrilling romantasy set in the world of the New York Times best-selling Serpent and Dove series. So, very excited to read this. So when I picked this up, the vampires, I thought, why not also pick up werewolves? And I also have like Bride and Mate with also vampire and werewolves. Then I also picked up this book. This was a book I pre-ordered kind of. No, it's not that pre-ordered, but I requested it at the library to buy it, and they did it, and it was delivered, so I went to pick it up. And that is A Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. As I said in the beginning of the video, I soft DNF'd this book, and I did that because of I wanted to read it a physical copy, so now I have it, and I'm very excited. It's also a very cool edition. It's a 10th anniversary edition. It's so cool with sprayed edges. It also has like this, and the inside is also so pretty. So yeah, this is a historical fiction. I started, but I don't really know a lot about it. So it's during the Second World War. It's about Vivienne and Isabella, and they're sisters, and they're separated by years and experience. So yeah, very excited. I mean, I read Firefly Lane Bar and I really loved that, so I have high hopes for this one as well. So yeah, that was my September wrap-up and my October TBR. Let me know in the comments what your favorite book was of September, and let me also know what is on your October TBR. I hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you next time. Bye!